Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Hello everyone. How are you doing? Hi Jill, how are you? Thank you all for joining me tonight. We have some special guests here to discuss what happened to a family member of theirs. As I said, in this true crime world, there's all types of different slayings. You got to be careful of the words I use once again, YouTube restrictions. Tonight, we're going to talk to a family whose son and brother was slain in a car accident. And I say car accident, but it wasn't an accident. The people that caused the accident were at fault. So tonight we're going to get the story of Jarrod Jones from Tipton, Indiana. And we're going to be joined by his mother, Judy, his sister, Andrea, and his sister, Kathy. Kathy will be joining us as soon as she can, but I'm going to bring Andrea and Judy on. Hello, ladies. Can you unmute? Hello, how are you?
Hi, Mara. We're fine.
I know this is going to be a tough discussion for the two of you, for all three of you. This is still new to you, even though this happened back in August. Judy, tell me the family dynamic as far as how many kids you have, things like that.
Andrea was born in 1969. Kathy was also born in 1969, but she's not my biological child. Jarrod was born in 1974, and Kathy came into our family when she was 13, 14, because she had lost her mother and just needed a mom and needed a family. Now she does have three sisters, and they're still a family. Her dad is still living, and she basically is just an add-on daughter. I've loved her since she was that age.
Yep, more the merrier, right?
Her kids, and other than that, Andrea and Jarrod's dad and I divorced in 83, I think. Yes.
Okay.
And no. It was before then. It was in the 70s. 78. 78. And they were both young kiddos. Their dad was a firefighter, and I moved out of Tipton. And the kids, when their dad and I divorced, I don't know if Andrea, if she remembers me ever telling her this, but the judge asked me if I was sure that I wanted to have joint custody with no child support. And I said yes, because they belong to him as much as they belong to me, and he needs them just as much as I do. So that's what we did. And to be honest with you, that's the best way to go. A lot of people won't agree with me, but for us, I mean, the judge, his name was Rick Pierce, and he knew both of us, and he was just dumbfounded. I mean, he just said, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Right.
I said yes, because I don't want to fight with anybody over child support, over having the kids. The kids dealt, they dealt with it as best they could. And for any, divorced family does.
Right.
Jarrod and Andrea played ball in Tipton. Andrea played softball, and till she got tired of it, I think. And Jarrod played ball up until he was
all through Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth. He played from the time he was 5 years old, and through Babe Ruth.
Now, when you say Babe Ruth, what is that? What grade is that?
Back then, I think it was 16.
Yeah,
15 or 16.
15.
So 15 up until high school?
Yeah.
15 to what?
Throughout high school.
Was it 15 to 18 or 15 and 16?
It was 15 and 16 back then.
Yeah. And we spent many nights at the baseball diamonds. And I think that's why. Hi, Kat.
Hi.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello.
So, if I can just say the two major components of your family is firefighting and baseball.
Yes.
And it's from everybody, like you said. But Jarrod was a huge baseball fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. Yep. He was a Cubs fan, Indianapolis Colts fan. He went to the Pacers games on occasion. He liked sports. He was a huge Alabama fan, and that was only because when I remarried in 99, I believe. No, I take that back. It's been so long ago. When I remarried, it was the year that, and when I remarried, it was 83. The year that Andrea graduated was 88. Correct, Andrea?
Yep.
And that,
Happy too.
Yes, and that December, my husband at that time and I moved to Alabama. The plant in Indianapolis, the Chrysler plant in Indianapolis closed, and we moved to Alabama. Well, Jarrod came down and lived with us for a while, and when his it says anything in his obituary about Athens State College, he quit high school the second semester of his senior year because he was bored.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to work. He got a job painting houses, brand new houses. And I told him, I said, one thing, if you're going to quit, on one condition, I'll let you on one condition, and that is you have to have your GED by the end of March. And he took his GED and passed it, received a letter from Athens State College, which I still have, wanting him to enroll in college.
Wow.
So
tell me, what was the dynamic like between the two girls and Jarrod? I know what it's like. Tell the audience what it's like. And Andrea and Kathy, feel free to jump in.
Oh boy.
They treated him Well, they treated each other like typical brother and sisters, you know. They were constantly on each other's butt. They were constantly, throwing jibes at each other and, absolutely
Picking on each other.
picking on each other. But I think they each knew that if anything happened, they would be there for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's 5 years difference, though.
Right.
Jarrod's 5 years younger than them. So,
And
When-
being the
when Mom-
baby and having 2 older sisters, oh my goodness.
Well, when Mom told me that I was getting a brother, I told him she needed to leave him at the hospital.
she did not want a brother
Mm-mm.
at all.
And Andrea still threw it in his face. Mom should have left you at the hospital.
But you know what? He always messed with the girls about turning 50,
Mm-hmm.
He always threw it in
Always.
our face.
and he was, 40, 45.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm sure when he turned 50, it would be a big blowout for him.
It was going to be a big
It
blowout.
was going to be, he would have regretted it.
Oh yeah, big time.
He would have regretted it because they seriously would have tortured him.
Mhm.
Yes. It seemed like it was okay. So to me, an outsider, it's a loving sibling relationship
Yeah.
with lots of torture
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
amongst all 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
And I was
You
the
know,
short
and-
one.
And that's the way they liked it. That's the way that you all were with each other. And the more crap you could give one another, the better.
Yeah. Well, you've seen it. You saw it at the 4th of July party.
Yes.
All of us were on each other.
And it's nonstop. That's just
Absolutely.
the dynamic of it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we've got family members in the chat. And it's funny because I'm popping some of their comments on the screen as we're talking, and the one that, oh my gosh, the hospital comment with the laughing emoji. So yeah.
Yeah, you know who made
Oh my
that comment?
goodness. Huh?
You know who made the hospital comment?
No.
Paula.
Oh, Paula. Kidding. Yeah, because it just says Facebook user, so I'm not sure who it is, but
Yeah.
Kathy, back up from your camera.
Oh,
There
I
you go.
can see. Yeah.
There
Tilt
you
the
go.
camera, or tilt it back more.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right, Kathy. Name one of your best memories of you and Jarrod.
Oh,
Oh, this ought to be good.
oh gosh. That'd probably be one of when we was down at Mom's during racing season. Let me tell you something. I can't outrun him.
You can't outrun him.
Oh, now, okay, so remind everybody, Jarrod was 6'9" and weighed
I was just
350
saying.
pounds.
And I'm 5'4", and when that happened, I probably only weighed about 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I had to take 6 steps to his 1.
We all did.
And I said something to him. Of course, you know how we are mouthing and stuff. And I said something to him, and he soaked me with a water hose and soaked me and soaked me and soaked me. I was so wet. That kid, I mean, he held me down and held that hose over my head and soaked me. And there was no getting away from him because I took off running, and I was back in the corner of the backyard. And I think Mom was in the house.
There was nowhere for you to go.
There was no,
fenced
because
in.
the backyard was fenced in. I was
Right.
stuck. Like, I was not getting away from him. But when he got a hold of me, there was no getting away.
Oh
But-
my.
I was the short one of the family. He put his arm on top of my head. My arm rested, or his arm rested right on top of my head. I was just the perfect height.
Mm-hmm.
I was his armrest. I was always his armrest. I was always shorty to him. But I'll tell you what, I never, ever, ever worried about anything. That kid, he always had my back no matter what. You know, that's the way our whole family is.
Right.
You know, we will always have each other's back. We pick on each other day in and day out, but I'll tell you what, we always have each other's back.
Push comes to shove.
And I've seen that firsthand.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And Jarrod he was a big teddy bear. And I'll tell you what, that's one thing I miss is a big hug from my brother. Just that big soft squeeze. You know, we had a lot of fun. We had growing up, picking on him and stuff. I mean, he's always been a big kid, you know, but I wasn't afraid of him for the most part.
No.
For the most part. Andrea, favorite memory?
Sorry, I had to mute because the dogs were going nuts.
That's okay. Favorite memory?
Oh, Lord. I'm the last one to ask because I had more years with him than she did.
Right.
Yeah.
I could tell you about the time that I pushed him through a plate glass window or on the door. I could tell you about the time that I pushed him off of the swing set. Oh, yeah. No, it's just, I mean, we had a lot of them. He helped decorate and set up for Brooklyn's wedding. Bryce's wedding was there. All I think the most thing.
4th of July.
The 4th of July was his main objective was not to try to burn down the damn barn.
Right.
Yeah.
So for 4th of July, you guys got to realize that Judy's got a nice piece of land, and they go right next to the barn, and they light off as many fireworks as they can.
Oh yeah, the whole back end of Jarrod's truck was full.
Yes, and you hear them laughing over there, and you're like, and you hear them go, "Oh, there goes the branch," because they're shooting the fireworks up in through the trees, and they're hitting the branches, and people are yelling, "Don't start the trees on fire!" Oh, it was funny.
Or you hear somebody say, "Uh-oh, run!"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so
they've had to do that a few times.
Yeah. I can just imagine all the years you did that there, and thinking by the end of the night, I'm lucky to have everything in one piece.
You know, we've, knock on wood, the only thing I think that ever got damaged as far as the fireworks go is that they always have a bucket of water.
Right.
Yeah.
And they put the fireworks down in that water. Well, somebody, I know.
A firefighter. A volunteer firefighter, yep.
Took the bucket and set it on our front sidewalk.
Oh.
And we get up there, everybody's leaving, they're packing their stuff, they're doing this, cleaning up and all that, and then somebody says, the bucket's on fire. And there are still marks on my sidewalk. No, you know what I think the guys that did our deck, they pressure washed our sidewalk, and I think they finally got it out. And that's only been a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's.
Look at Bryce's comment.
Let's not forget about, my
raccoon.
God.
Let's not forget about the raccoon.
Oh,
okay.
Lord.
Tell us the raccoon story.
Okay, so was it the 4th of July?
Yes.
Okay, it was the 4th of July, but it was early, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we just got done eating.
It wasn't dark yet.
No.
Anyways, they go in the barn and there's a raccoon in there. So the guys decide, Bryce gets his gun.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. He gets his pistol. They lived next door at the time. He gets his pistol and they And so they're going to get this raccoon out of the barn, right?
Oh no.
So they get this net. We've got a big net, They get this net and they try to, and it's in, first it's in the haymow, and then there's a beam that goes across, the other side away from the haymow. Anyways, so they get over there and this raccoon is on that beam. And they're trying to get it in this net, and it's not, and it's hissing and it's fussing.
Well, it was a big PVC pole with a rope on it.
Well, that was the next thing. So
Yeah.
AP told him to get a rope around its neck. So he showed him how to put the rope down through the PVC, and then once they got it on its neck, to pull the rope, right?
Yep.
At the other end of the PVC. That's what they did.
Well, guess who got nominated to do it because he was the tallest.
To do it because he was taller. And so they get the raccoon. I mean, these guys, I'm not kidding you.
Jarrod ran out of there screaming when it jumped down.
Screaming like women in the barn because, they're going, here's this.
Yeah.
Here's this raccoon. They finally got it. Jarrod takes it out and out the side door there. And somebody says, shoot it. So they shot it.
Got rid of the raccoon.
Not more than once.
Oh no.
They shot that thing full of holes. And I'm thankfully nobody got shot. I'm thankful nobody got shot.
Tia says, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine him running away screaming.
Oh, it was hilarious.
He wasn't running away, but they were screaming because, this thing looked like it was going to attack them,
Yeah. Mauled.
Catching the gutters on fire. Oh, with the grill. Oh my God.
Or the burgers.
The burners. The burgers.
The burgers. I caught the burgers on fire.
Yeah.
He always grilled and
he was the grill master.
And I think that's last year.
Well, he wanted to think he was the grill master.
Yeah, he wanted
until he caught the things on fire.
Yeah,
but we never
had burgers.
Yeah, we never gave him that title.
He gave himself that title.
He gave himself the title. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So he caught the gutters on fire, grilling the hamburgers.
Yep. Well, didn't catch them on fire. He melted them.
He melted them.
Oh, he melted them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So.
And said,
oh my gosh.
Whoops.
So after he grew up and got through high school and started working, he was still involved in baseball.
Always.
So what title did he hold in the community when it came to baseball?
Him and Bryce were Babe Ruth coaches for the 16 to 18 year or the 13 to 15 year old team first, and then they went to 16 to 18. And then Bryce got out of it because he got a full-time job. And then Jarrod became the board president of the Tipton Baseball League.
President of the Tipton Baseball League. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a big honor. But it seemed
a big job.
It seemed to me like he did it with ease.
He made it look easy.
He knew about baseball. He knew everything about baseball. There wasn't anything that kid did not know about baseball. But he immersed himself into getting sponsorships and getting the fields redone. Because those fields, I can't even tell you what year it was they were built. They were put in. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Dylan is 32. He played on them when he was 4.
Their dad played on them.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Their dad played on those.
My dad played on them.
Yeah.
So
in the
I just
50s.
want to, yeah, I just want to let everyone in the audience know that Isaac is Jarrod's son. Brooklyn is Jarrod's niece. Bryce is his nephew. And how is Tia related?
She is Tamara's sister.
Sister.
Okay. So
So it would have been his sister-in-law.
Yeah, would have been his
okay,
sister.
we got lots of family in here, lots of memories. The kids are they're saying his mac, even though he couldn't grill hamburgers, he could make great mac and cheese and taco salad.
Yeah.
If you like mac and cheese.
He knew. You didn't even really have to tell him what to bring at family get-togethers.
Yeah.
And he knew. He always pitched a crap about it. You
Right.
know, but everybody blew him. You know, we have family chats on Messenger, and everybody always blew him crap about, you can't come unless you bring your mac and cheese. You know.
Oh.
And he would say, "Good, I didn't want to come anyway."
I didn't want to come anyway.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That was his
Sticker.
excuse, you know. I'm not coming.
Oh yeah, he'd say, I'm not coming if. Yeah, right, whatever.
Wow.
But he was, I can say one thing, he was still a mama's boy.
He was.
I think they're always a mama's boy, from what I'm learning.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Oh, yeah,
Natasha,
Tasha's
he was
one.
my cousin. I remember being younger, I'd say around 8 or 9, and asking Dad how in the world did he get so tall.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
Natasha is my niece, my youngest brother's daughter.
Okay.
That passed away 2 days before Jarrod.
Before Jarrod did.
So I know that this was back in August, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I know that Andrea and I were doing a live.
Yes.
Or I was doing a live and Andrea was in the chat moderating, and all of a sudden she's like, I have to go. And I'm like, go, take care of whatever you need to, you know? And so tell me about that day. What happened that made the family concerned?
Jarrod was home by 5:30, I would assume. He lived in West Elwood, which is east of Tipton, but he worked in Noblesville and Cicero area for a company called Site One. And he loved his job. But he could either take State Road 19 home back to Tipton and then hit 28 and go home, or go to the ball fields, go to a meeting, whatever.
Right.
Or he could take State Road 37, which took him to what's
213.
213, which is a 37 runs north and south. 213 runs north from there, but they're two different roads, and it's through the country. Anyways, he chose to go State Road 37 that day. He got off work at 4:30, and he could have gone State Road 19.
Right.
But so he didn't come home. Kelby had talked to him, his daughter had talked to him before he left work.
So did Bryce. They were talking about playing Xbox and watching the Colts game.
Right. And so he left, and after 4:30, no one could get a hold of him. Everybody was calling him. Kelby called me. She goes, "Nana, I can't get a hold of Dad. You know, have you heard from him?" And I said, "No. And then she goes, "Nobody can find him." But by this time, it was what, Andrea, I've lost total sense of time that night.
It was, well, I got the phone call around 9:00
From me?
from me. I got the message on YouTube because we were actually reading Tabitha documents that night.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
kept getting phone calls and I kept ignoring them because
And that's
Kelby's
when
mom kept trying to call me. And I thought, well, I don't even know why she's trying to call me. You know, I don't have any reason to talk to her. And then mom gets on in the chat and says, there's a family emergency. Call me now. So that's when
Right.
I dodged out and told you I had to go. So that was
Right.
around 9:00.
Mhm.
I don't know. I know Jordan's not on here.
He might
But
be, but he's not in the chat.
We started looking for him.
Right.
And I called every hospital from Indianapolis all up to Kokomo. No admittance, nothing.
Now, Andrea, on the flip side, you had heard the scanner because you listened to the scanner.
I had heard the scanner earlier that day because I have a friend that actually lives out there by that area. And I had sent her a message and said, hey, there's been a really bad accident on 37 just south of Strawtown Avenue. I said, just letting you know so you can check to see where Brian's at. She goes, oh my God, thanks for letting me know. I had sent Brooklyn a text message because they live in Hamilton County.
Right.
Not knowing that it was Jarrod.
Not a clue.
And they said, not a clue. Yeah, they said that it was a 3-vehicle accident and 1 vehicle was unstable.
On the
And
scanner,
then
they had
on
said
the
that.
scanner, they said that, yes. But they never said nothing else about it being a fatality, nothing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so Judy, how did you? Oh, go ahead.
Jordan, I think what mom was going after was Jordan was actually at work that night, and he went to the police department.
Jordan is
my son, who is a firefighter.
Back up.
What?
Kelby got Isaac involved. I can't find Dad.
Right.
Something's wrong.
Right.
All of this. And they went to the fire department.
Well, they went to the cemetery beforehand because
before that.
When Jarrod had issues or just needed to vent, he would go to Dad's grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they went to the cemetery first and he wasn't there. So then they went to the fire department and Jordan was working. So Jordan went over and talked to one of his buddies at the police department. And the police said, do you think there's something, does he have any health issues? And Jordan said, yes. And they said, okay, then we can ping his phone. So they pinged his phone. They said that the only ping they were getting was from somewhere in Marion, but he had no reason to be in Marion. So we're like, no, that's not it. Well, then that's when Isaac got the phone call from his mom, who lives in
Anderson.
Yeah, she lived in Anderson at the time. And just so happened that the deputy coroner in Hamilton County went to school with Isaac's stepdad. And she recognized the last name. And because she had did a Google search on Jarrod, because so the coroner went to the address that was listed on Jarrod's registration and driver's license.
But he had moved.
Right? So they couldn't find anybody. So they did the Google search. It came up with Isaac's mom's name. So she recognized, I know that last name. I wonder if it's any relation to the one I went to school with. So lo and behold, she gets a hold of Isaac's stepdad and says, do you happen to know a Jarrod Jones? And he said, well, yeah, it's my wife's son. It's my stepson's dad. And then that's when she told him that, well, Jarrod had passed away in a car accident and they couldn't get a hold of any of the family. So then then Amy had to call Isaac and tell Isaac. what had happened. So then Jordan went in and they called the coroner's office in Hamilton County. The police department did, and he said yes, that it was true. And it happened 15 minutes after Jarrod left work.
But because they didn't have the right address or anything, none of you were notified until
Right.
this roundabout way that later that night.
Right. But here's what
Okay.
I don't understand is they had Jarrod's phone. And the coroner even told us, right, Kathy?
Yep.
The coroner even told us that the phone kept ringing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
they
I'm
had
sure.
to shut it. They had to shut it off.
Because it
I
kept
was
ringing.
calling him. I was texting him. Kelly,
Oh, I
everybody
bet.
was trying to call him.
Everybody was calling him. And they even said his phone kept ringing off the hook, so we just had to shut it off. So you would have thought that with his phone ringing off the hook, they would have answered it at some point, but they, I guess, legally can't.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
That's all right.
So actually, we didn't find out until 9:30 that night that he had passed. So a good 4 or 5 hours after he had passed, did we find out.
And you just knew that it was a car accident.
That's all we knew, that he was killed in a car accident. That's all we knew at the time. And then they told us, the coroner's office told us that somebody needed to come down and identify him. So me, Kathy, of course, mom couldn't do it. So she wanted me and Kathy to go. So me and Kathy and his wife, Tamara, and then Isaac and Kelby, Kelby's daughter. Kelby is Jarrod's daughter. We all went down there and had to identify him. So.
Right. So when did you find out this was more than just a regular car accident? What did you find out?
Okay, so after we left the coroner's office, we had to go to the sheriff's department because we didn't know where his wallet was. We didn't know any of that. The only thing that the coroner's office had was the clothes that he had on and his phone and his wedding ring. And so we go to the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department gave us the crash report and all this. And the sheriff's department told us, you guys need to hire a personal injury lawyer right away.
Right.
So we did. That's when mom got a hold of a lawyer like the next week and everything. But we were told by the witness that the car that hit him was going extremely fast. I talked to the lieutenant several times on the phone, and all he could tell me was that it was under investigation, and that he could tell me that the guy was going faster than highway speed. And I said,
what was the speed limit through there?
45.
55.
No, it was 45 coming out of the roundabout. Coming
40.
out of the roundabout and going into the roundabout, it's 45. So I said, oh, you mean he's going like 55? He said, no, highway speed. And I said, oh, so more like 70. And he said, faster than highway speed is all I can tell you.
So this is a 45 mile per hour where Jarrod was, and you're being told that this driver was going 70 miles plus per hour.
Right.
And came through a roundabout doing that.
Came through out of a roundabout doing that.
Wow.
And mind you, he hit a car before he hit Jarrod.
Right. So you gotta think, okay, so the road is this way. Jarrod.
It's a 2-lane highway.
Yep,
It's a 2-lane highway.
Jarrod is coming towards the
Going
right.
north towards the Jarrod was going north towards the roundabout. And
Right.
the other two cars
There's
were
a-
coming south out of the roundabout.
Right. And the first car
Had stopped.
was going to stop to turn.
Turn. Right. And she's the witness.
Right. So she stopped in her lane, waiting to turn. Jarrod's coming, and you've got this maniac with a vehicle that is going over 70 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Clips the back end of the car that's waiting to turn.
No, the car behind the
Pushes
car
it-
that's waiting to turn.
Huh?
There was the car that was waiting to turn, and then there was the other
Okay.
car behind it that was
Right.
waiting for her to turn. So he clips
Right.
that second car that was stopped waiting on the first car to turn. He clipped it on the back driver's side, veers it off onto the west side of the road and flips it, and then veers over into the northbound lane and hits Jarrod head on.
Right. Now the car that got clipped was pushed off. If you're
Pushed off.
looking, yeah, pushed off. I would say to the right side because
It's the west side of the
I'm
road.
thinking-
Yeah.
yeah, to the left side of the road.
And
Flips
pushed
over on its side.
over up against the fence
Yep.
in a
And
ditch.
then where does Jarrod land?
Jarrod was stopped immediately upon impact, and his truck flipped over onto the passenger side. And then eventually rolled over onto the hood.
I'm going to put some pictures up here, everybody. This is a picture of the vehicle that was behind the vehicle that was stopped.
Right.
And you can tell the whole back end is this corner of the back end is all smashed in. The
Yeah, that's
tires
where he-
bent.
Right. That's where he
That's where they hit her.
clipped
hit
him.
him.
Right.
And Jarrod was not speeding. Brooklyn is right. And I need to go back a minute. Natasha, I love you, honey. Jarrod was not speeding. His speed per his module. And for Jarrod, his speed was 55.
Yeah, because he hadn't come into the 45 yet.
He hadn't come into that 45 speed zone yet. And his speed per his module was 47.
Now, when you say his
sorry.
module,
His module off the truck. They took the
Okay.
module off the truck and ran it. And his speed was 57.
57. It was 61 and it had slowed down to 57
Right.
At the time of impact, yeah.
at the time of impact. So it showed he was slowing.
He was
He
slowing
was
down. I
down.
assume that he saw that car turning, going to turn. And it's just
Right.
kind of habit that you slow down, you know,
Yeah, he
hoping
slowed
that
down.
they'll turn in front of you.
Well, and he was going into the 45 and coming up to the roundabout.
so I was asked to make this bigger, so I'm making it a little bit bigger,
Thank you.
so everybody can see it.
There you
So
go.
this is a picture of Jarrod's truck.
Yes.
This is just one of them. And this is the front end of Jarrod's truck.
Right.
So what you have to realize is that because of the force of the high speed of the car coming and hitting him,
And as big as he was.
as big as he was, everything crumpled in on him with that force.
Right. It actually broke the steering wheel.
Right. Now this is a picture of the car that was speeding. As you
Yes.
can see, this vehicle is a lot worse than the other two vehicles. But part of the reason why it's worse is that there was, how old was the person driving?
18.
18 years old, and had a passenger.
That was also
And they
18.
were pinned, who was also 18, and they were pinned in that car. So they had to use the jaws of life to get them out.
Right.
And also, their motor and transmission, they were separated in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, the motor was
Correct.
laying in the middle of 37.
Correct. So that tells you how bad
Yeah.
this was.
Yeah, it gives you an idea
and-
how fast he was going.
Right. And how the two people in this vehicle walked away, I'll never know.
Me either, ever. And the driver actually walked away.
Walk to the ambulance.
Yeah, he walked away almost unscathed
Yeah.
compared to his passenger. I mean, his
Right.
passenger was in the hospital longer than he was.
Yeah.
I talked to the witness, and it happened right in front of her home. She was the one turning to go into her drive. And I spoke with her, and she apologized so profusely to me, because she said I did everything I could, because she helped pull Jarrod out of the truck. And
Right.
she said, I did everything I could.
There was also a Noblesville firefighter that worked at the landscaping business, which
And it
was
was
her brother-in-law. And he's the one that helped pull Jarrod out, and he's the one that actually started CPR on Jarrod till the medics
And
got there.
they both did CPR on him.
Right.
And until the EMTs got there, but she's the one that told me that he got up, that she went over while her brother-in-law was doing CPR on Jarrod. She got up, she went over to check on the guys in the car, the guy that hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And she said they were both waking up, stirring, and she told him to sit still.
Right.
The ambulance was on its way. Ambulances got there, and she said that it was the driver of the car. They tried to get him on a gurney to put him in the ambulance, and he refused to get on the ambulance. And he said, I didn't do anything.
Right.
I'm okay. I don't want to go to the hospital. But he had 2 fractured wrists and cuts. But they took him, he literally walked to the ambulance. To the ambulance.
Right.
There's no reason for him to survive this. There no human reason that he should have survived it. As bad as that hit was, and as the force of it that took Jarrod, there's no reason why this kid is alive other than he was high.
Being under the influence.
Being under the influence.
And that's what I was going to get to here is, so this is the side of the road where Jarrod's truck rolled.
Ended.
Right.
And ended. You can see
skid mark.
Yeah, you can see the skid marks. You can see
there are no skid marks.
No.
Those are not skid marks, Mark. Those are where they correct the pavement.
Right there. Right there. There's the skid marks that she's talking about.
Yeah.
That's from Jarrod.
It's not necessarily the skid marks from the car. It's more the skid marks from the engine that fell out.
Right.
Well, but the black marks,
No,
the black marks coming back towards the edge of the grass, that's from
Yes.
Jarrod's
the
truck.
stop.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the stop.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause it stopped his truck and flipped it on its top.
Right.
Well,
Right.
that's what happened is he started skidding this way,
Yeah.
Towards
and
Towards the
he
grass.
hit it tore up
yes.
the road, and he flipped.
Yes. But as far as skid marks from the car coming,
There were none.
None.
He never hit the brakes.
No.
He didn't.
No.
There were
Never
none.
hit the brakes.
Uh-uh.
This is the cracked road and everything is up here, and this is where Jarrod landed. His
Yes.
truck landed.
Yeah. Right. And if you notice, do you see in the background of that picture, there's a no passing zone.
Yeah.
Correct.
But that's for cars
It's
going.
on both sides. It's on
Oh,
both
is it?
sides of the road. Yep, because we looked.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. And this is just another shot of where the truck landed. You can see it, glass parts, all kinds of things, because the front of the truck was torn apart.
They were still finding pieces of the truck when they went to put the cross out
Yes.
3 months later.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about next is we alluded to this, and it's like, okay, this is an accident. It's horrifying. This is not an accident. And the reason it's not an accident is because this 18-year-old driver was high and used excessive speed.
Yep.
And a month before this, he had gotten a speeding ticket.
No.
2 months before.
2 in June.
In
Oh,
June,
2
he
months
got a-
before he got a okay.
before he had gotten a speeding
He was
ticket.
due to go to court the day after the accident for his speeding ticket
That he got 2 months beforehand.
that he got 2 months before in
Okay.
June. We've done our research.
Oh, I know.
Trash ready to take out.
Hey, AP.
Yeah, he opened the door, trash ready to take out.
This is a picture of 18-year-old Travon Williams.
Willingham.
Or Willingham. Why do I always say Williams?
Because it
Willingham.
sounds like it.
Yeah. What was he charged? Well, he was just recently charged
Yes.
because they had to wait for all kinds of evidence and testing to come back with So what was he charged with?
OWI resulting in a fatality. Level 4 felony.
Level 4 felony.
Under
Okay.
under the influence of
THC.
Schedule
Well,
1 and Schedule 2
Yeah.
drugs.
Now, did they find drugs in the car? Do you
We have
know?
not been told that yet. But we're assuming
Okay. You're
He's
assuming
also
they did.
He's also been charged with possession.
Correct.
He got 2
And-
charges.
One of the ways that we knew that drugs were involved is because didn't the officer tell you that there was a bunch of tea bags in the car?
No.
No.
I saw
Andrea,
the tea
thank you.
bags in the pictures that I took
That's right. When you were at the salvage yard.
when I was at the tow yard. Yep.
Now, the tow yard visit, you learned a lot from that visit, not just seeing the 3 vehicles, but you were anonymously basically given information.
Pretty much.
You saw the tea bags. You saw a piece of paper on the seat of the vehicle that gave the name
Right.
of the person
Yep.
that did this.
Up until then, we didn't know who it was. And this was happened on Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days afterwards. Because we went to the funeral home on Tuesday and got the phone call while we were at the funeral home planning the cremation and doing all that stuff. I got the phone call from the lieutenant telling us that we could go down and get his personal belongings out of the truck.
Right.
So it was 5 days after. Because we had to wait on
the white car too.
Yeah, there was a cell phone laying on the dashboard of the white car.
Yeah.
We had to wait on them to go and download the airbag modules off of all 3 cars, which then we were told they couldn't even find the airbag module on the white car because it was destroyed.
It had been destroyed.
So because that was destroyed, that was a key piece of evidence. We'll never truly know how fast he was going.
Well,
exactly.
Coming from the background that we come from,
right?
There is a way that the police can figure out approximately how fast he was going.
But we can never know a definite,
an exact speed.
Definite.
Right.
So there's a calculation that they can use with different factors. And did you all calculate that?
Okay, so the only thing that we really calculated was how fast of an impact Jarrod actually took. So you take the speed of one car, the car that was hit, and the speed of the car that did the hitting, and you add those together, and that is the force, mile per hour wise, that Jarrod would have taken, which would have been, if you go 70, low end of the spectrum, 70,
Right.
and Jarrod's 57, then that's 127 miles an hour.
Impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's if he was going. If the white car was going 70 mile an hour.
Right.
And
So with
we
him
know
saying him going
over
faster
70.
than highway, right? If he was going over 70, faster than highway speed, you figure 80, then Jarrod would have taken, 137 mile an hour hit.
What were Jarrod's injuries?
Mom, do you want to say or you want to? Yeah, it was a severed aorta.
Severed aorta with massive traumatic chest injuries.
Blunt force trauma to the chest.
Blunt force.
Right.
But he had a severed aorta. There was no way.
It was instant.
It was instant. He died instantly. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, the coroner told us when we were there that he died on impact.
On impact.
Right. Exactly. And like you said, Judy, it's a blessing knowing that he didn't suffer. He didn't know what hit him.
No.
He didn't even have time to react.
He didn't have time to react.
It was that quick.
If I'd give anything for him to be back. But knowing what happened, I'm thankful that it was fast. That he didn't feel anything.
That he didn't suffer.
He didn't suffer.
So, Kathy, Andrea, you had something made for Jarrod, and then you had And then Judy, you put it at the crash site. What was that?
Brooklyn's father-in-law actually made a cross, and then, well, Kathy and I stained it, and then
It was a team effort, sissy.
I stained it, and then had my incident of having to go to the hospital, and so then Kathy finished it, putting the letters and everything on it.
It's teamwork.
And I placed it.
Yeah, you placed
Bryce and AP and I and Sam. I let
On
everybody,
paper?
if they wanted to go, they could go. If they weren't ready, but I had to because it was his birthday,
It's
And
49.
December 23rd,
23rd December.
and I had to go. I will always go,
Right.
and I had to go and put it on there.
And this is off the road so that
This is at the witnesses' property, right? I mean,
Right.
that's exactly where it happened. It's right directly.
right. The cross is back off the road, off the side of the road though, so nothing happens to it.
Right. My
Um,
fear, and the reason that I got a hold of the lady that owns the house, and I knew she was a witness to it. She was in the car that was turning.
Right.
I needed to get their permission
Right.
to place it there. I wasn't going to put it there unless I had somebody's permission. Everything has to be done perfect, right? I mean, I don't, you just don't go to somebody's property and put something in it without
Right.
permission.
Well, but
And
didn't she tell you to actually put it up by the tree so it
She
didn't get
asked me to
destroyed?
put it by the tree so that it didn't get destroyed.
Right.
My fear was, I was thinking of her and talking to her mother-in-law. She's a vet. She's been out of the service for 4 years, been married for 4 years, and moved here from Ohio. And it's her husband's, it's her mother-in-law that owns the business just to the right of this tree. There's a business.
There is.
And it's a landscape business. And she started having panic attacks, fighting with herself whether she did enough.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, you did everything you could. There was no way you were going to save him.
Right.
Nothing. There was nothing you could do. And she explained to me how he looked, and that she just fought with herself about it. And she
said that she keeps hearing the sound.
She keeps hearing the sound.
Right.
And because she turned into the drive, and there's the row of mailboxes. And she
Right.
turned, and the minute she turned into her drive, she heard it and turned her head, and Jarrod's truck went. She heard the impact.
Right. And then saw the aftermath.
She immediately got out of her car. Her 4-year-old was in the back seat. And she's been rear-ended there twice. And she said she immediately got out, jumped out of the car, dialed 911 on her phone, and ran over there. And her brother-in-law was outside, and he saw it. And
Right.
he ran. And this lady, the vet, the Marine vet, is 5'5".
Wow.
A little thing. And she said, I don't know where I saw how I did it. But she said, my brother-in-law pulled on his shirt and I pulled his arm to get him out of the truck.
But
Right.
she pulled the door open.
But she pulled the door open. How
She
she
said
got
she-
that door open.
Yeah, she said she didn't know where she found the
Adrenaline.
strength. Yep.
She said it was
Adrenaline.
just adrenaline.
But
Yep.
she said that the sound that in comparison, like if you have a dump truck and the dump truck lifts its bed and then comes crashing down
Ramps down.
empty, that's what it sounded
Yeah.
like.
That's what it sounded like.
Wow.
But I assured her that she did everything she could not to feel bad about anything,
Right.
because there was nothing she could have done. She did, what she did all she could, and not to feel a bit guilty of it.
Kathy, you're sideways.
I know. I just noticed that. How did that happen?
It
It
just
just
happened.
happened.
I don't know.
Grab your phone and turn it.
I haven't touched my phone or anything.
You touched your screen.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, grab your phone and move it. Oh, your phone. There you go.
There you go.
Now rotate it back. There you
There you
go.
go.
That's weird.
It's your life.
Right.
You know
No.
what it is, Andrea? My computer's still updating.
Oh my gosh.
It's at 64%.
Wow.
I'm going to answer a question of Tia. No,
Yeah.
she was not harmed at all. She was in her driveway. She
So
had
what
turned
happened?
left
what
in
happened
her
to the-
driveway.
Yeah, what happened to the car that was behind her? What we know
She's-
that they
She
went
told
on.
me that she was stopped and she was waiting for Jarrod to go by her. And she said, it's 55 in there. She said, I was waiting for him to go by me. And she said, the minute he went by me, she goes, I immediately turned because she knew there was a car that had slowed behind her. And she said, but I never saw the car that hit him. He was going so fast. She never saw that car.
Yeah.
Never saw Travon's car behind. And the car that the other gentleman was driving was a what was that, Andrea?
I can't remember. Nissan, Dodge.
A Nissan.
Okay. A
Yeah,
Nissan.
it was a Nissan.
A Nissan.
And
Rogue.
yeah, Nissan Rogue. And he clipped the end of it, and it ended up on its side.
But
And
that
all
driver was okay.
Yeah, he was just complaining
I
about
think he had back injuries or something.
Okay.
Yep.
But I thanked her for telling me. Yeah, there she is. I thanked her for telling me, everything.
Oh, Paula says it's Jarrod messing with Kathy.
There you go.
That's
And
Paula
did
telling you
Brooklyn
that.
and Natasha.
You know
It's-
what? He owes me one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him messing with you, girl.
Oh, he messes with me all the time. All the time.
And I think it's hilarious.
Shut up.
Right after Jarrod's accident, about a couple of weeks after, we feed the birds. We have bird
Right.
feeders. There were no birds. None.
None at all. There's
None at all.
always birds by you.
No.
Yeah,
There
they've
were no
always got a crap ton of birds.
Huh?
Yeah, you've always got a crap ton of birds.
Oh, always. But there were no birds. And then all of a sudden, the birds came back. And every morning, except this morning, for the last week and a half, I've had a cardinal.
Oh, one day you had 5.
Yeah, one day I had 5 cardinals.
That's him. That's him just checking on you.
Him and Mom and
Natasha's-
Grandma and Glenn and, Grandma, Grandpa.
Look at
Yeah.
Tasha's comment.
Did you two really think it was going to stop just because he isn't here in the flesh?
Oh no.
Come on now. Brooklyn says,
Touche.
see, I've witnessed him messing with mom a lot.
Yeah.
So, Judy, the four of us believe in Kathy having issues. You know that.
Poor
Oh, I
Kathy.
love you, girl. You know that.
Don't throw down.
We all believe in the afterlife and
Absolutely.
spirits, and you know, when something like this happens, you look for signs, and sometimes you just don't get those signs right away, but it sounds like you're getting your signs with the Cardinals in
Sounds like it.
the yard.
I think so because
And he's trying to be gentle with her, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. With you two, he don't care. He just messes
No.
with you.
Well,
Yeah.
for a long time, it upset Mom, and I see her getting upset. That's why I'm going to start right here.
Right.
It upset Mom because me and Kathy, he was messing with us all the time.
Right.
I mean, my Christmas tree lights went out, and then
only
mysteriously come
around
back
his
on
ornament.
only around his ornament, and then
Right.
mysteriously come back on.
Well, I remember,
Knocking on my hallway doors. I was
remember
on the
our
phone
last-
with you, Marv, one night,
Yeah.
and the knocking on the door. The carousel. I walked by my carousel one night, and it just started playing music.
which
I just
hasn't
turned
worked
around.
in forever.
Yeah, I never turned it on. It wasn't turned on. I got up to walk to the bathroom, and it started playing music. I jumped, and I said, "Ha ha, very funny, asshat," and it shut off. So he messes with me and Kathy all the time, and it was upsetting Mom because she was like, "Why am I not getting signs? Why is he not visiting me?" And I told her, it's because you haven't accepted it yet.
Right.
Once you accept it, and once he feels like you're okay with him making a visit, then you'll get your signs.
Right.
Her going to do the cross, she told us she's now accepted it.
I think, well,
It's
I have.
reality now. Right.
Right.
It's reality now, and she's accepted it, and now all these Cardinals are appearing.
Yeah.
Well, and just like, we talked about the pictures, she was ready to see those now.
Yeah, right.
For
She
the
hadn't
longest time,
seen
she didn't even want to see them.
She hadn't seen a picture of his truck up until last week.
Right. Kathy.
And it's still hard for her.
It
Yeah.
is.
But she's accepted. And it's going to be.
It's her baby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's going to be.
Absolutely.
And,
Kathy,
but
tell me
Andrea and I
about-
thought we had the last word when we talked to him last. Well, he's showing us we didn't get the last word.
The last thing me and Kathy said to him was, "You're still going to get your 50th birthday party. Don't think you dodged out of it."
Right.
That was the last
Yeah.
words we said to him at the funeral home.
Right.
And look, now he's just tormenting us left and right. Like, really? You think so?
Yeah.
Kathy, tell us how that torment started.
We owe you, and we told him we owe you one.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's what we told him. We owe you one. You got out of your 50th birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tell us how the torment from Jarrod started. The day you went to the site. What happened?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was after we had left the hospital, and we went to ID Jarrod and do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on our way back, because we didn't go that direction to the hospital.
Right.
Right.
So on our way back, I'm driving, and sun was shining, and it was a beautiful day. And right in front of the landscape place, just before the accident, the sun's shining. We
Now,
get
mind
right
you, it's me, Kathy, and Bob.
Yeah.
Right.
In the
It's
car.
me and her husband. And just before we get to the accident, as we're driving into the accident site, all of a sudden my windshield started getting wet. And I looked at Andrea and I said, "Is it freaking raining?" And the farther I got into the accident site, the harder it rained.
It
I
poured.
was like, son of a crap. It's pouring down rain. And as I'm driving out of the accident site, it get lighter rain. And as I got out of the accident site, sunshine again.
Yeah,
No rain
gone.
at all.
Gone.
Gone. All through that accident site, it rained like a heck. I mean, like cats and dogs.
Yep.
But as soon as I got on the other side of it, sunshine and no rain again.
And we both had goosebumps, hair standing up
Goosebumps.
everywhere.
It was the most surreal
Moment.
thing I've ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah. And then we looked it up.
And me and Andrew were both just kind of staring at each other like, oh my God, what the hell just happened to us?
Right.
And I was speechless. I'm never speechless.
No,
I
you're
was
not.
speechless. I was speechless. And what did we find when we looked it up, Andrea?
It's the cleansing of one's soul.
And you know how good that made me feel?
Yep.
I could breathe after that.
Yeah.
It made complete sense.
Right.
And it was like when me and Andrea went through there together, it happened at that moment.
Right.
He
Yep.
let us know that he was okay then.
Yep.
That was his way of letting us know that he was okay.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
was where he was supposed to be.
Yep.
It was the weirdest, most wonderful, I just can't even describe it, surreal thing I've ever seen and experienced in my life. It's undescribable how it happened. And
And you go from that terrible, terrible grief and sadness to, like you said, peace,
yeah,
knowing that he's okay.
It was like
Yeah.
the flip of a light switch.
it was. I mean, you talk, if right here is the beginning of the crash site and here's the ending, it just rained right in between here. That was it.
It was a matter
Right.
of 50 feet.
Sunny here, sunny here.
Yeah.
Rain right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sprinkling here, pouring down rain here.
And then done.
Done.
Like you grabbed the faucet, you turned it on real quick and turned it off. That's how it was.
Wow.
Yep.
I want to show one more picture because I think this part of our conversation is important, especially for anyone who believes in this. Tell me about this picture.
This is Gulf Shores. This was taken the day that Jordan and Isaac spread his ashes at Gulf Shores.
Because that was one of his favorite places.
That was his favorite place. He was going to retire
He
there.
was going to retire there.
And they
Yep.
asked for a sign if he was happy to be
He
there.
was happy to be there, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
He let him know he was there.
Exactly. The beams of light shining down through that opening let them know that he was there with them
Right.
and that he approved.
They also buried a baseball there. Where
Yeah.
they scattered his ashes, they also buried a baseball deep in the sand.
Yeah, Isaac. I gave the boys ashes to take down. And
Yeah.
Isaac used his ashes. And they drew a big heart and spread them around the heart. And then Isaac covered them up. And one thing that when they went there, I was at my sister's in Massachusetts, and the day that they did that, and my brother-in-law said, watching Isaac, it was videotaped, and watching Isaac, my brother-in-law said, look how reverent he is,
Mm-hmm.
not stepping where he put his dad.
Right.
He said, now
Right.
that's reverence. He said, that's loyalty. That's reverence right there. Because he gently put the sand over him on the heart and then stepped around it to do the
Right.
other side. My brother-in-law, who is 80 now, he couldn't believe. He goes, most people would just walk over, step inside
Right.
or whatever. But he said, look how reverent he was. He was very impressed by Isaac being so revered by the fact that was where his dad wanted to be. That was where his dad wanted to retire, and how much he loved his dad.
Right.
So, yeah.
So tell me, Judy, losing your son, your child, is awful. You don't know how to process it, but realizing that it wasn't an accident, that somebody was actually at fault.
Yeah.
What is that like? Because you're already going through the grief.
I'm angry. First off, that it was total 18-year-old stupidity. And if you have teenage kids that are driving, and the worst thing you want to ever hear is that they're being stupid and being in an accident, right? Causing an accident or whatever. I mean, Kathy and Andrea, they know. If I know they're going somewhere, I always say, be safe. I've done that for years. I did it with Jarrod. I did it with even my grandkids. And, to know that he had no regard for somebody else's life, even his own nephew who was in the car with him.
Uncle.
His
It was his
uncle.
uncle. He was the nephew.
Even his uncle in the car with him. Mm-hmm. He had no regard, no regard for him either. Because he was flying.
Yeah.
And I'm angry. I know I'll never get Jarrod back. But the fight is on. The fight is on.
So we do know that he was finally charged.
Yes.
We're waiting to see what is happening with that. Will he plead? Will he go to trial? He's young, so he doesn't have any kind of record that we know of.
Yeah, we know of. Yeah.
Being, normal things.
Right.
What are you hoping, and I want to hear this from each of you. What are you hoping the outcome is from all of this?
My whole thing is, in the state of Indiana, and every state's different, but in the state of Indiana, his charge is he could get up to 12 years in prison. My thought on that is he needs to learn a lesson. He's got a scar on his face that he has to look at every day. And I pray that when he looks at his face every morning, that he remembers my son, that he remembers that accident and what he did. This will haunt him, I'm hoping, the rest of his life.
Scare him straight.
Because, okay, it's marijuana. Okay, we don't know if there was anything else, do we?
No.
No.
But all we know is it was THC, and sounded to me like there was a lot of it. But it's still illegal in the state of Indiana.
Right.
It's still illegal. And, I've had relatives that have been arrested, had to bail my brother out.
Right.
And he just had a little bitty amount. And that was years ago. But I still harp on him about having it with you, having it on you.
The bottom line is it's illegal in Indiana.
It's illegal in Indiana. And I don't think it will ever be legalized in the state of Indiana.
I mean, hell, we just got alcohol legalized on Sundays. Come on.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. No kidding.
Right. Right.
So, I'm not a user.
Right.
I smoke
Right.
cigarettes. I'm not a user. And I don't fault anybody. You want to do it in your own home. You want to pay the price for it.
That's your business.
That's your business. But don't get out of behind a vehicle. Don't get behind a vehicle
Right.
under the influence of it. But you got to think about it. He's 18. My brother that I'm talking about, 60 some.
Right.
Right.
And how high was he? We don't know.
We don't
Right.
know.
Was he being irresponsibly high? It's kind of like, okay,
But
somebody
we
has
also
one
don't
beer,
know what other substance he was on.
right? And what else was he on? But okay, somebody has one beer or somebody has 8 beers. Do you
Right.
understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it makes a difference.
Well, it makes a difference.
It could make a difference.
Right.
It
yeah.
could.
And nowadays, you don't know what as bad as fentanyl is. You don't know.
Was it laced?
laced?
Right.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's not a plea for him.
No. But
That's
if he was
not anything that he can say,
listen,
well, it was laced with fentanyl.
right.
Right.
No.
But here's the thing. If he was stone sober, he was driving recklessly and killed my brother.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line for me. I don't care how high he was. He was driving recklessly and killed my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know that he apparently liked speed because of the speeding ticket before.
Right.
Right.
And
like
Brooklyn's right.
Brooklyn says the whole point of this is his actions.
Yeah.
He
chose
chose to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And-
At the end of the day, whether he was high or not, he was driving recklessly.
Mhm.
Right. And his actions, which he chose to do,
Mhm.
killed a good man.
That's right. He took our brother. He took my mom's son and our brother away, and
Yeah.
Kelby and Isaac's dad.
Yeah.
We will never
Rosa
get
let his
another day with
fellow.
him.
No.
Because
So the
this
whole point-
jackass wanted to show off.
Right.
Right.
So the whole point of this live here is to show that people get killed in different ways. This is a true crime show, but one of the things that we like to do is educate people.
Mhm.
We're not here to say throw him in a cage, lock him up for the rest of his life,
No.
but he chose to do this. He chose to speed down that highway.
And there are consequences.
And there are consequences, and he needs to be held accountable
Absolutely.
for his actions.
Absolutely.
Someone said, oh, it was just an accident. And I'm not going to say who. Someone said, oh, it was just an accident. He's just a kid. No. That would never fly with me. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And all Jarrod was doing was trying to go home from work.
Right.
Put in a day's work and was on his way home. That's all he was doing.
Now, if this kid had been going the speed limit or even
Mhm.
5 over, it would have been an accident.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But- his
No.
actions of going the excessive, and I mean excessive speed
Right.
in that area.
Or didn't
Right.
see the car stopping in front of him and hit his brakes and tried to stop. That's an accident.
Right. But there
There
were
were.
no brake marks, so we know he didn't brake.
Right.
Mhm.
No. So what I want to do is I want him to get, and I said this to the prosecutor. You know, people take plea deals
Hmm.
so they don't have to, you know, have a jury trial. They take plea deals. I told the prosecutor, all I can say is he better not get a slap on the wrist.
Right.
He better not get a slap on the wrist for this.
Well,
Because
one good thing we got going for us is the county that it happened in. Because if he would have been 5-10 miles down the road,
it would have been
it'd
another
have been
county.
totally different. It'd have been a totally different story. But the county that it happened in is extremely hard on negligence cases.
The prosecutor he doesn't tolerate negligence.
Right. And we've
So
been told that by more than one person. And the guy that I speak to all the time, the lieutenant that I spoke to all the time, has told me he expects him to plea out of it, and I said, well, what's that mean? Do you think he's going to still get time? And he said, oh, he won't serve time in a county prison. He'll go to Department of Corrections for it.
He won't serve
But
in jail. He'll go to a
He won't
prison.
be in jail.
he'll go to state prison, right?
Corrections.
Right. But he said, but I honestly hope that he goes to trial. He said, because our crash investigation team have a 100% success rate.
Wow.
So they cover their bases. They dot their I's and cross their T's. So there is no case that they have ever went to trial for that they have not won.
I think they said the highway was shut down for what, 4 hours or so?
Hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't open it back up until what, 9?
Yeah.
Something like that. So 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Tia, we're not exactly sure what came back in his tox screen. They can't tell us that.
Mm-mm.
We don't know exactly what was in it. We know that there was THC, but we don't know what else. Or
We don't know. So Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 drugs.
Right.
And it's level 4.
So if Travon was watching this,
Oh, girl, you don't want to go there.
Don't ask me that.
You don't want to go there.
Don't ask me that yet.
okay.
Look, Kathy just put her head down. She's like that. Mm-mm. It would not be it would not be YouTube friendly.
No.
Gotcha.
You'll be banned.
This video would
Gotcha.
not be monetized very well. You'd get a yellow flag, everything.
yeah, we're going to be nice right now because
Tia,
we're all
we
still
know-
angry.
Tia, we know a lot of details. We just can't elaborate on air.
We can't make them public yet
We can't make
because
them
we
public
haven't went to court yet.
only because he's not appeared in court yet.
Right. Oh, I'm sure all of you have words for him.
And I'm not.
I'm going to say this, Marv. If I was in Travon's shoes, I guess I'm a different human being. I'm built from a different cloth. My mom raised me differently. Maybe, I don't know. But I have a tendency to be a little rough on the outer edges, but I'm real soft-hearted. If I took somebody's life, number one, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to
I would
sleep.
be devastated.
Yeah,
I would-
right.
would be crushed. Like I just don't know how I would sleep. I mean, I couldn't deal with it.
Right.
He
I damn
obviously
sure wouldn't
knows-
get out of my car and say, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I would have definitely went if I was able to get out of my car, I would have went over there to make sure that the other person was okay, first of all. Secondly, Jarrod's name was released.
Yeah.
Immediately. I would think I would have went out of my way to contact the family, to apologize, to see if there was anything that I could do, to knowing I was at fault. I mean, regardless. Okay.
Right.
At fault, not at fault, whatever. I took their family member away from them. I'm guilty. I'm feeling guilty. Whether I'm at fault or not, I took somebody's life.
Right.
I would be, what can I do? What, I'm so sorry. What can I, can I do anything? What do you need from me?
Right.
I don't have insurance. I'm sorry, but, I'll do whatever it takes. I mean,
You would
I'm
show
just
remorse.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what I did. I would be on my hands and knees apologizing. And then I would probably disappear. I would go back to where I came from, but I would let them know that I am so sorry for what had happened. They would definitely see my face.
The teenagers, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, Kat.
But, no, you're fine, Mom. But I think even as a teenager, Mom, I think even you as my mother would tell me, you show your face.
Oh no, she'd
Exactly.
march our asses right to the door.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. She would not let us sit on our
I wouldn't
ass.
hide you.
Nothing.
No, I wouldn't
Right.
hide you.
No. You would make us.
My mom always told all of us if we ever got in trouble, we ever got, went to jail, don't call me. Your
Yeah,
butt
that's
will
what I
sit
always
there.
told my kids. You get in trouble and go to the
Don't
jail,
call me. I'm
you
not
sit.
going.
But that's what I mean. I think we were cut from a different cloth, that
Right.
even as an
Yeah.
adult, I would do that. But as a teenager, as an 18-year-old, whether I was living at home or not, she would be beating down my door.
You would have some guilt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is. You would have some kind of guilt, both of you.
And I guess I would expect that from Travon.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not like he doesn't know what happened or who he is.
Right.
And I don't think we will never see that. We will never hear that. But I want justice to be served, and I want him to get what he deserves.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to leave it at that. At this
That's all I
point.
can ask, because there's nothing more we can do. I mean, we've got enough on our plates right now.
Yeah. And I'll just leave it at that.
People
Yeah.
don't understand. You do not understand. Stress to your children that are driving.
Yes.
Put your head on a swivel. Watch out for the other person. It can
Expect
happen
the
so
unexpected.
fast. And
Yes.
because
I mean, and Jarrod didn't see it. Jarrod's looking straight ahead and didn't see it coming. It happened that fast.
Exactly.
And it was coming right at him.
Yeah. But the thing is,
You're right, Tosh.
you absolutely, I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself. When you cry after losing your dogs,
Mhm.
Right.
how can you take somebody's life and not feel anything? But
Right.
but some teenagers in this world these days, they have not an issue. They don't have an issue about hurting somebody else.
Right.
They don't have an issue with it.
Well, and
But-
I think a lot
And
of how
we do know
It's how they're
How-
raised.
go ahead.
I think a lot of how exactly. I think a lot of how we feel is look at the field of career.
Right. That's
Jordan,
in the family.
Bryce, my dad, look at all that. I mean, that public service, their EMTs,
Nursing.
Nursing. Grandma was a nurse. I mean, we don't know what his family background is. We don't know what his family does. We don't know any of that.
A lot of children these days are not raised with that, being held with any accountability.
No.
Right.
Well, and we did see that.
Yes.
because we saw posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
From him, from family members
right.
Mhm.
that were
But
all
people-
about the boys and nothing said about Jarrod and the family and your loss and how Travon was joking about different things afterwards.
Yes.
Taking selfies.
Yeah.
So,
And just wanting
and
his
even through,
just wanting his drugs.
yeah, and even through all of that and knowing that, you still aren't out to destroy him
No.
for taking your son. You
No, because
just
listen,
you
it's
just
better
want
that
him to
he
learn
lives-
life lessons.
Right.
I just want
And-
him to think about it every day.
Right.
And he will.
All he has to do is look in the mirror. Because he's got a
Look,
scar right
that's
We
there.
will never
Right
we
there.
will never forget his name. Which that's a name we should never known.
No.
Right.
We should never have known his name. But guess what? We'll never forget it. And I don't want him to ever forget Jarrod's name.
Right. And just show a little, I mean,
A little remorse.
human decency, remorse,
A little compassion.
compassion, empathy
Mm-hmm.
Right.
towards Jarrod and his family.
If nothing else, towards my mother and his children.
Right. But even towards all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of posting things the way that he did and basically laughing in your face.
Right.
Jordan's on Facebook, by the way, watching.
Oh,
He said, "Hey,
This
Nana."
must be him.
Yeah, he
What?
said, "Hey, Nana, Mom, and Aunt Cat. Hi, Marv."
Hi,
This
baby
must
boy.
hi Jordan. This must
Hi,
be him.
Jordan.
Hello, Queens.
Hello.
Yes, it
He
is. That was
knows, right?
him. That
He
was him.
knows.
He knows.
Hi, Prince.
That's a boy that was raised right.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
right. He's our
Brooklyn
friend.
says an apology would be a nice start. Exactly.
Right, right, Brooklyn.
Show remorse, compassion, and guilt.
Yes.
You know, the only thing that
Jordan said guilty
we're gonna
of knowing that he was raised right.
yeah, guilty is right.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I still don't know we don't know the court issues. We don't know, we have dates, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But we will eventually.
Right.
He'll get something. We don't know. But we will eventually be able to give victim statements.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I've already started writing mine.
I will give mine.
Yes, because
I'm sure there'll be a
needs
line.
he needs to see and hear how it affected your family and each one of you personally.
Oh, yeah.
And as a family, a group unit. I mean, this family is so close, you guys.
Well, my whole thing is I've always been close with my kids. I've always been close to my grandkids. Always. Always.
Right.
But what hurts me more than anything is the one person that Isaac and Kelby could go to. They both have mothers,
Mm-hmm.
both by the name of Amy. They relied more on their dad.
He was their
as far
solid.
as talking. And Isaac lived with his dad.
Right.
Isaac has lived with his dad since he was 5 years old. 5. And I have to take the reins now. I cannot let anything go by. I'm not going to let anything happen. I'm not, I've made it very clear to people that they're not going to be pushed to the wayside.
Right.
They're not going to be pushed. They're not going to be left out. I will fight for these kids until the day I die. Because to me, in our family, I'm all they have. We're all that these kids have.
Right.
And in Andrea's eyes, that's not fair to our mother. So that's where our bitterness comes in of losing Jarrod, because it's been dumped in her lap because of Travon's carelessness.
Right.
She should be a grandmother. She should not be parenting these children. But she is their go-to. She is their solid now. She is their backbone. You know, it's not fair to her.
Right.
She's 90. You know what I mean?
I'm not 90.
I knew you were going to get in trouble with that one.
Marv's like, yep, get ready.
I'm really not even that close to 80. Okay.
I know. But
where's your pink shirt at, Judy?
In reality, though, she's taking Jarrod's place.
Right.
And she's the one that's protecting these children.
Well, these kids have to have somebody to speak up for them.
And yes.
Jordan said she's all of our go-to.
Yeah, she is. She is. But Jordan, you still have a mama. You still have a daddy.
You know that.
You know, but she's definitely, hell, she's mine and Andrea's go-to still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's our mother. She is Kelby and Isaac's grandmother. They should still be able to go to their dad.
But I feel like I'm their mother.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. She's making decisions and looking out for them in ways that their parents should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
She shouldn't have to be looking.
Whoop them. Whoop them.
Jordan said that.
That's why I said whoop them. You got my permission.
Okay, that's your favorite that's saying that now. Remember.
She gonna whoop you. Aunt Cat.
So we have a standing joke. Okay.
Just remember, you're coming to my house on Saturday.
Me and Kelly get mom things for Mother's Day.
Can I borrow one of your Depends, Mother?
Yeah, sure.
Me and Kathy get mom flowers, whatever, on Mother's Day, right? Well, we stopped because she kills them. Okay?
Oh,
they all die.
Get her one.
But let Jordan get her one. Everything Jordan has bought her, still living.
Thrives.
No.
It don't just live, it thrives.
Look, he said I'm the favorite. I can say funny things every once in a while.
Well, he knows all my grandkids are my favorites. If you're standing in front of me, you're my favorite.
At that moment, you're my favorite.
If you're 2,000 miles away from me, you're my favorite.
But mom shouldn't have to be dealing with the things that she's having to deal with in reality.
I agree.
You know, unfortunately, she's having to right now. Obviously, Andrea and I will do anything we can to help her. But this is... she's not going to let anything happen to her grandkids. She's not going to let anything happen to those babies. She'll protect them. She'll do what she has to do. And that's who she is. That's the woman that built us.
Now, you ought to see all the Facebook comments.
Oh, I know.
Now Isaac's in on it. Isaac said, now, Jordan, don't get too far ahead of yourself.
This is what they do.
I'm the oldest, my boy.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I want to tell the audience, and I'm sharing these comments from your family in the chat because you had a devastating loss, but you all band together and you support each other in every way possible.
Absolutely.
We're not that big of a family. We're not that big of a family. Now, when I say we're not that big of a family, I'm just talking us.
Immediate.
Right.
Immediate. You know, I'm one of 6 kids. There's 5 of us left.
Right.
And so even though we may not see each other all the time, whatever, we're a phone call away. You know, my
Right.
sister lives on the East Coast. You know, Dylan's on the West Coast. You know, we're just a phone call away.
We have family in Michigan. We have family all over
Right.
the place.
Yeah.
But as far as immediate
As far as
family,
our immediate family,
it's me, Mom, Kathy, our kids, AP.
Right. Right. But that's why I'm saying your family unit, the
Yeah.
group of your core family with your kids, you're so close and you support each other 1000%,
Yeah.
you know, and
We're lucky.
yeah.
Well,
And
let's
like
talk about
Ruben said,
another.
none of us would have made
Let's-
it through this without each other.
Let's
Right.
talk about it. We were talking about the signs.
Yes.
Okay, so just to let everybody know, Isaac was made to, well, I don't want to say forced to move, but he was wanted to move.
Right.
And said he would live out of his car if he had to. How many days was it, Kathy? 3 days? No,
2.
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
2 days after Jarrod passed away. A couple weeks before that, I had said, oh, wow, they're finally doing something with the house across the street. Somebody must be getting ready to sell it. They might be, somebody must have bought it and was going to flip it.
Because they were working on it. Yeah.
Because they were putting a new roof on it. They were pulling stuff out of the inside of it. Everything had dumpsters out there and everything. 2 days after Jarrod's accident, I go and I just look out my big bay window, just looking outside, and I glance over, and there's a for rent sign. Not in a normal place that you would see a for rent.
No, it was not.
Not. It wasn't up by the front door. It wasn't in the window. Nothing.
It wasn't
was
like in the front yard either. Like,
no, not in the front yard, not by the door, not in the window, nothing.
it was like
I
by
call
the
Mom.
driveway.
Right, it was by the neighbor's driveway.
The neighbor's driveway.
And it was pointing right at you, so you saw it.
Right at my house, where I looked out my bay window to the right, and it was like, bam, smacked me in the face.
It was facing your house.
It was angled towards my house.
Yeah.
I called Mom. I said, hey, there's a house for rent right across the street for me. Why don't you see if Isaac is interested in that? She goes, oh, no, you don't want that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, whatever. The next day, something was just saying, keep on her, keep on her, keep on her.
Yeah.
So I called Mom back.
Well, you gave me the number that day.
Yes. And
And
I
then
call her
when
back
you
and I said, you need to call about this house. Because for one, I don't think it's going to stick around very long. And
Mhm.
for another,
Right.
something is telling me you need to call about this house.
Right.
And she called about it, and it was Isaac's that day.
The
But
next day.
it was the next day. It was just weird because I even sent Marv a picture. And I said,
Yeah.
look at how this for rent sign was placed. It wasn't placed on both sides of the property. It was only on that one side, angled towards my house.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jarrod saying, hey, you need to look
And
after
it's
my
been a
kids.
blessing. It's been a blessing for both you and him.
Oh,
You
yeah.
and Isaac.
Well, and me.
Right.
And you, because he's being watched over and taken care of.
I worried. Oh my gosh. He was just feeling so bad that day, the day
Mhm.
before. And we had the conversation. I mean, I talked to him every day. But that I'm 100% positive that was Jarrod's doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
100% positive. And just the way it happened, and the guy the owner of the house is so nice. He handed Isaac a key the day we went and paid the damage deposit.
Yeah.
No, you can move in, And
Yeah.
just amazing how his dad's looking out for him.
Yeah.
His dad's watching
Informant
out.
enough.
I mean, I know Jarrod knew, and I know he knows that I'm always going to watch out for the kids. Always,
Oh yeah, always.
you know. But there's times when I need his help too.
Yep.
I need
Well,
his
and we
help.
kind of need to explain the relationship between Jarrod, Isaac, Bryce, and Jordan.
Oh yes.
They would play Xbox every opportunity they had. They would get online, play Xbox online, and everything. I mean, that was their thing. They would get online. They'd say, "Hey, let's have a game night, a hangout night." That's what they.
Yeah, as you can see by all the Facebook messages, these are the boys.
Yeah, these are the boys.
You know, and they're as close as can be too. So
Right.
And
And Brooklyn and Jarrod took Brooklyn to her second. I took Brooklyn to her first concert because that was a have to. But Jarrod took her to her second concert, and it's kind of funny because when Mom was going through Jarrod's stuff, she found the actual concert ticket that Jarrod had taken Brooklyn to, and she gave it to Brooklyn.
I gave him to Brooklyn.
Yeah. So Jarrod did things with his kids, but he was also a big part of my kids' life. I mean, for God's sakes,
right.
He lived with me. He lived with me when Jordan was a baby.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he would help me because when Jordan was a baby, he was 2 months old. I had major gallbladder surgery. And he came and stayed at my house after I'd gotten out of the hospital and all that stuff just to help. Right. One of my fond memories of Jarrod is when Jordan was 6 months old and Jordan had just taken a bottle and he was throwing Jordan up in the air. And I said, he's going to puke. And sure enough, he puked right in. Look, Jordan said, and I puked in his mouth.
He sure did.
He sure did. Yep.
Yes, he did.
Oh
Good
my
memory. Good
Right.
memory.
Jarrod, and I said, how's that soy formula taste?
Yeah.
Because Jordan was on Persobe soy formula.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought Jarrod was going to toss his cookies right then and there, but he didn't.
Wow.
So
Yeah, we had good times.
Yeah. And you guys are family to Paul and I, my sister and I. We've become so close, and going through this with Andrea and with you, Judy and Kathy, and the heartbreak that I see, for the whole family, and you're coming out of that heartbreak. I can see it slowly.
yeah.
You really are.
It'll never be easy.
I'm a second at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected.
Right.
But
your mom.
Yeah.
Right. But even in Mom's case, you are coming through it.
I am.
She is.
Slower than
She makes
everybody
progress.
else. Slower than everybody else, but I think you've made major progress.
AP's daughter. And she's,
AP is our stepdad, by the way.
Yeah, his daughter's like a daughter to me. But he lost his grandson. His first grandson in 2018. Totally unexpected. He was 18. And I think I never really knew how his daughter felt. You can't say, I know how you feel. You do not know how somebody feels when they've lost their child. And it was January 4th. And he was starting his last semester of high school, had been accepted at Purdue, was going to go to Purdue. And had a massive heart condition and passed away at home in the bathroom.
He just got out of the shower.
He got out of the shower. And I saw how, bad that was for his daughter, for AP's daughter. And like I said, you could never say to a woman that has lost their child, I know how you feel. I'm so sorry. I know how you feel. You do not know how it feels.
Nope.
And
Yeah.
the hardest thing one of the hardest things I had to do with AP's daughter was call her, because she knew Jarrod. She knows all the kids. AP and I have been together for going on 22 years. And I called her and I told her, I said, I just wanted to call and tell you now I know how you feel. And this is not something I ever wanted, but I do now know how you feel. And, and only her and I, can understand that, because it's a heartbreak that you have no clue how it feels.
I know how you feel.
Well, you do, but you didn't have a chance.
Right.
Like Robin, she only had 18 years.
Right.
But I had 48.
Right.
And my heart aches because of the grandkids. His grandkids. Because they were close. Yeah, this will be a year of baseball without him. The first year of baseball with that Ross and Olivia are going to have to spend without him. And they're not playing back in Tipton. They're going to play in Kokomo.
Are they?
Yeah. It's closer. The parks in Tipton aren't ready. Maybe if they're ready the next time, but Livy's going to play softball.
Good.
Not baseball. She's going to play softball. And Ross will be in the little sluggers. So she signed him up yesterday, actually.
And Bryce went back to Babe Ruth.
Huh?
I said, and Bryce went back to being part of the Babe Ruth League.
Bryce is the president of the Babe Ruth.
And you know what, Mom? Maybe it's best if the kids do start playing over here now.
Yeah.
I think it is, because we can go a lot more and watch them. And
when Jarrod's not involved over there, then maybe it's a good time to start playing here.
Yep.
Isaac's here, and Maria and Bob.
Exactly.
Bryce is 5 minutes away, but it gives them a new start, and Ross is just he's so excited. He wants to play ball so bad.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna be different. Not
it is.
Not seeing him at the ballparks. And I think it would be harder on me if Tipton was ongoing this year. Going if the kids were playing there.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about what their baseball league is going to do?
Well, let's just say that Jarrod started this renovation for the Tipton ball fields.
Oh, yeah.
With his position. And there's been a delay due to funding to finishing it. They're hoping to get it done by next year, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So with him being the president of the league or whatever, and what did they do for him?
They started a scholarship in his name, and they are also placing a bench at the new Babe Ruth field.
Yeah.
In his memory.
Yeah. So future baseball players will be able to learn the
And-
game, love the game just like he did
Yeah.
with the scholarship.
He, whenever we were doing his memorial and getting pictures ready and stuff, all the pictures, the baseball pictures. He played soccer, 1 year?
1 year,
Mm,
He played football, I don't know,
2 or 3
maybe a year,
years.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it was baseball. It was always baseball.
right.
We came on pictures of his dad and one of his classmates that my sister, her
He did it
second
again.
husband.
He did it again.
He's just letting us know he's here.
Yep.
He can't
What
turn
is
my
wrong
computer,
with
my
people?
laptop. You're the only one on a cell phone.
I haven't touched the darn thing.
I-
I'm minding
Well,
my business.
You can't
He
turn
said-
ours because we're on laptops.
He said, "You ain't talking about me." He said, You're keeping your mouth shut, not talking about me."
There you go. But I mean, they'll get them done. I know that's a goal. And
Yep.
the scholarship fund, I don't know where it's sitting right now. I haven't had, they've had everything right now is kind of at a standstill because of getting this ball field
Right.
going, getting it even worked on. Andrea said they're going to, the last council meeting, they're putting the fences up around the fields.
Yep.
Right.
But this year, all the Tipton leagues, with the exception of the Babe Ruth, all the Pee Wee, the Little Sluggers, and the minor league teams will play in Atlanta, which is 5 minutes south of Tipton.
Yeah, not very
Right.
far.
And then the Babe Ruth team will play up here in Kokomo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to say this.
Yes.
It's not the baseball league's fault that we're in this position.
No.
Oh no, not at all.
So I
Yeah.
want to throw that out there just to let everybody know that
Mm-mm.
it
Jarrod
has
had the
nothing to do
funding.
with the baseball league. I don't want anybody to take that out of context. That the baseball league is not to fault for the
No.
reason that the fields are not ready to go this year.
Right.
And Jarrod wasn't at fault.
I just wanted to
either.
clarify that.
No, it was. We can say it was funding.
It was
Yeah.
funding, and he had gotten funding, and
Well,
got-
Jarrod had went out and got the sponsors
the
and
sponsor.
was told they didn't need the sponsors
Yeah,
because the money was going to
That
come from
city would pay
elsewhere.
for it.
Right.
Yep.
And then new administration takes over and says, we don't know
Where's
why
the money?
he said that because there's
Yeah.
no money.
there's no money.
Right.
So now they're back on getting the sponsors again.
Yeah. So it will get finished.
It will eventually.
Jarrod
yeah.
will be honored there.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we also, at Jarrod's Celebration of Life, we did a thing istead of taking flowers or anything like that. We told everybody that if they wanted to honor Jarrod, memorialize Jarrod, to send a donation to the Tipton Baseball League in honor or in memory of Jarrod.
Right.
And we did get some. We did get some money. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So my concern, I mean, like I said, everything's kind of at a standstill right now because of, having a new mayor and
Yeah.
dealing with the funding and stuff like that. And really, we don't live in the county,
Right.
So do we have the right to go in there and say anything? We're relying on his cohorts that were on the Tipton Baseball League and Bryce. Bryce does
Right.
live in the
I
county.
was going to say Bryce is the one that's going to step up now, and
Right.
And I do think that we have a good mayor that stepped in.
I think we do now. Yeah.
I do think we have a good mayor, and I think he's going to hold good on his word, what he can do with the council that he has. It's
Right.
not completely up to the mayor. It's the
It's
council.
not all him. No.
He has to have the support of the council,
Right.
obviously. But I think he's going to do what he can as far as his limits, what he can do.
Right.
So hopefully he's got a good counsel behind him. I don't know who all. I know a few of the board members. I haven't had the time to research of who all's on the board now, personally, to find out. I know there are a couple people right off the top of my head that are on there, but I don't know where they stand as far as, supporting the league and, what their ideas are and stuff like that. I haven't looked into it that far personally. But I do think that Keegan will step up and do what he can with what he was handed. I think we've got a pretty good mayor on our hands as far as that goes.
Right.
Because he's been pretty straightforward from the very beginning. As soon as he took office, he immediately put out a letter to let everybody know what was going on.
He got a lot of backlash from that letter too, starting out.
He did, but he was straightforward with everybody. He was very transparent about it. Whether people liked it or not, this is what we're looking at.
Exactly.
Right. And he did, like Andrea said, he did get a lot of backlash from it, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his doings.
No, but then he made an appearance at the baseball board meeting.
Yeah.
And explained his decision and what he wanted to do going forward.
Yeah. So he's been very upstanding and transparent about it. And I like that. I like the transparency that he's shown so far as the baseball's concerned. And I think he's going to be a good mayor for Tipton. I think he will continue to be transparent on a lot of things.
Right.
I think he will continue to be out in the public. I think he will continue. And I hope I'm not getting my hopes up, but I do think that he's going to be good for Tipton.
I hear you're getting your 4-way stop.
Am I? I haven't heard yet.
Watch last week's city council meeting.
Bam!
Girl!
I haven't heard yet.
Go watch the city council meeting and sit.
Take another pay raise.
Yeah.
Jordan. That's Jordan.
Hey, you just got one, dude.
That's right. You just got promoted. You just got promoted to second class firefighter 6 months early.
That's right.
So am I watching the same one that Jordan got promoted?
Yes.
So we both got stuff for the same meeting?
And the baseball league.
Yeah.
That's what he announced that the fencing was getting put up.
How exciting.
So we had a question about will we give out the dates for any hearings or anything like that?
They're public knowledge.
They're public. Yeah.
March 5th.
All people have to do is get on my case.
Yep.
March 5th is his initial hearing.
It's his
plea hearing.
It's his pre-trial conference, the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he enters his
plea. All that is, the prosecutor explained to me that all that was
it's not much at all.
Presenting the case to the judge.
Yep.
Their evidence, all their stuff to the judge, both the prosecutor and the defense attorney.
Yep.
And he does have an attorney. It's court appointed.
Yeah. And he says whether he's guilty or not guilty.
And then the second hearing, that one, first one's March 5th. The second one is April 2nd. And it's the second pretrial hearing.
Yep.
And that will probably
have more than one.
Yes. And I'm not sure if that's the time they do a plea or I'm sure after that, but there is a jury trial scheduled. It's just on the books right now.
Right.
It's scheduled for April 10th.
Okay.
The second hearing is April 2nd.
But the prosecutor told us, don't hold your breath on April 10th.
Don't hold your breath because if he pleads guilty, it's over.
Right.
He'll take a plea deal.
Then we go right to sentencing hearing.
Then it goes right into the sentencing. Then, but if he pleads not guilty, it could be continued and continued
for years.
Continued and continued. And he said, so don't make any plans. Don't think you can't do anything that day because it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
So, and I understand that. I've watched enough trials where I know that's.
Oh yeah.
Look at the Delphi trial.
Right.
Well,
But we also know that his court appointed lawyer is an ex-deputy prosecutor
Ex-deputy prosecutor.
in the same county.
Yeah.
So if he's any kind of good lawyer at all, he will say, listen, they got you dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take a plea.
Or try to make a name for himself and try to fight it.
Right. But yes, we will keep everyone informed. I'll put the dates on the Beyond the Evidence Facebook page and in the Facebook group for any hearings like a week before so that everybody's reminded. And we'll definitely be coming out with updates when we can.
Yeah.
Lord have
mercy.
But
I want to thank you three ladies for coming on here.
Thanks for having
telling us about Jarrod.
Hey, Kathy, Marv's going to be here in April.
I know.
I only got to meet Jarrod once, but I could see what drew you all together, and that was fantastic.
He was a treat.
Can I take a minute?
Yeah.
I know my grandson Jordan's on there, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh. I don't know if you can see this or not.
No, up. There you go.
Oh,
what's it say?
There you go.
Purdue 105, Northwestern 96.
Mother, knock it off.
No.
I love it.
Ew.
Lord.
Jordy.
Gotta rub it in. Go.
Hey, nice tumbler. Where'd you get that? Who made that tumbler for you?
Look at the
color. Was a mistake.
We're getting
that was a mistake.
Boil her up.
Boil her up, Jordan said.
I missed a good game because of this.
I know.
But that's all right.
Kathy's an IU fan, remember?
I know. And so is Mr. Radcliffe sitting in the next room.
In the next room. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there she goes again.
And Mr. Delph, who's on the on the YouTube page.
Yeah,
he was on YouTube.
Did you do that?
You're just having issues, girl.
I'm just showing you my flag.
Oh yeah. See mine? Oh, see mine?
No,
nope. Little one.
Kathy behind her shoulder, you silly.
Mine's getting ready to go in mine's going in my window on February 5th.
Mom said hers is she's getting ready to put hers in the window too.
I got it ready. It means that we're gonna have Kathy's son's being deployed.
Oh, okay.
And it means we have one military person deployed.
Well, so I guess I got to get mine out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sitting by the front door, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got mine out yesterday.
I did too. But mine's always been here in my office on my TV.
I keep mine in my office too.
Yeah, just hanging. I didn't want it to get wrinkled.
I know. I keep mine hanging right over here in the gun cabinet.
Well, Marv, hopefully we have a baby when you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice. Cool. Paula and I are hoping so.
Oh, that's right. But I don't think so.
Oh, I bet.
I think it'd be a bit early.
We just can't have it on the 7th.
It's just going to be a week early. She'd only be a week early.
We can't have it on the 7th though.
The 6th
or the 6th. Yeah, we can have it on the 7th. We can't have it on the 6th.
Right.
Because we aren't trying to make Bob happy.
Oh God, no.
Ew.
No, we can. That would be a nice tribute.
We're not trying to make Bob happy.
Give it up. It would be a nice tribute.
Not allowed.
Did you see his Facebook post? Did you see his Facebook post?
I commented.
He said, "Hey, I'm not going to let this surgery affect my super ninja skills." He put that on Facebook. He put it on Facebook.
I told him, I said, Bob, it's not the ninja skill we're worried about. It's the nose.
It's the nose.
The nose.
Hey,
Paula says, I need baby snuggles.
Yeah.
Was that Paula? I can't tell Paula or Jordan.
We'll never hear the end of it.
That was Jordan.
Jordan said we'll never hear the end of it if she's born on Bob's birthday.
Yeah.
If she is,
Yeah.
I'm sneaking in and I'm going to change her birth certificate. I'm not going to steal the baby. I'm just going to change the birth certificate.
No,
Lord
you're
have mercy.
But Marv, thanks for having us, and I'll see you in April.
Thank you, Marv.
Yes, I can't wait.
We'll have some news
Can't
before
wait.
then.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we will have some info by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We don't know.
And you do know that Jessica Moss was sentenced today, right?
No.
No.
Yes, she
Who?
was sentenced today.
Jessica Moss.
Wait a minute.
That's
What'd she get?
that's a story we'll be telling too.
Well, we've already talked about it once.
She got
She's the
in-home
babysitter.
detention.
Mhm.
She got in-home detention and like $3,600 restitution to the parents. So go check out WRTV 6. They have all the details.
Are you kidding me? I am shocked.
Mm.
She pled down to
See, that's what happens.
Mhm.
she
Well, but
pled
this
down
has been in
to
limbo for 7 years, right?
7 years.
Right.
7 years. And she had like 20 some continuances.
Yeah. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that she didn't do anything in malice or intentional to that
I
baby.
understand that. I understand that.
A lot of it had to do with that, and I get that. I do. So she pled dag nabbit.
No contest?
No, doggone it. And I don't want to say anything wrong, but something about, I'm not even going to say because I can't remember exactly what it was. So just go check out WRTV 6.
I will. I'll do a show on that too.
So yeah, she was sentenced today, but she did not give a statement. The judge offered her to give a statement. She said,
No.
her judge her judge talked for her. So needless to say, Connor's dad was there and his grandma Nancy, who I worked with at Chrysler. And they weren't real happy that she didn't even apologize to him or anything. You know, she didn't make a statement, so they weren't real happy about that. Kind of what I was saying earlier.
Right.
You know, I feel like she could have at least, you know, sorry, you know, for what happened.
Right.
You know, maybe we could just move on now.
Right.
Something's better than nothing.
Right.
Because now they still feel like they didn't get closure. But
their child's gone.
Yeah, right.
But
so go check that out. And thanks, girls. I'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it and can't wait to see you all in April.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, Marv. We haven't done a live this long in a while.
I know. I said an hour
and this
and
is
a half.
the first time I've been on camera.
So
now you're going to expect me to be on camera every time we do Tabby stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Don't forget your lipstick, sissy.
No.
I got mine.
Me too, Mama.
Not me.
All right. Sending all my love to you guys. Thank you for coming on and telling us about Jarrod.
Bye.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. Bye.
All right, everyone. Well, that is Jarrod's story. Like I said, you know, people are taking from us in so many different ways. And this wasn't just an accident at all. This man was loved and cherished by his family, and he is deeply missed by them all. And we just want to tell the story to make people aware your actions, no matter what they are, have consequences. And even in this case, Travon Willingham is going to have to face that. We'll keep you updated on any hearings or if a trial happens. But thank you for watching tonight, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching Beyond the Evidence. Today, I gave you my own opinions and analysis, but I always encourage you to do your own research and form your own conclusions. If you're interested in true crime and want to join me on this journey of discovery, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you'd like to support the channel, join our membership, and if you have any suggestions for cases that you want me to cover, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and remember, justice matters. This is Beyond the Evidence, and I'll see you in the next video.